Well, it all started when I went to the skate park this one day. Was skating around doing my thing, and there was a couple guys that were skating around, and I knew one guy, and then he had his friends with him that didn't really skate, but they were, just chilling, having a good time. They asked me, they were like, "Can you drive us to our dude's house? Because we gotta get stuff or whatever." I'm like, "Sure, like why not?" So later on that night, I drive them up, and I stay in my car, and then they go inside, and then you can start hearing like people screaming, and you could hear like some kind of like fight going on from like inside of a building. And I'm thinking like, what's going on? I'm so confused. And later on, a whole gunshot goes off, like a very loud like boom, and everyone starts swarming, like literally like cockroaches, just going left, right, everywhere to, escape from this because they didn't know what was going on. And after that gunshot, those guys that I drove up came running out of this apartment place, and one of them had a gun. And I'm thinking, oh no, like, so I hurry up and like, I got spooked and I freaked out because I'd never been in this situation in my life before. So I hurried up and ran into my car and then drove off. The next day, police were at my house, and they were asking, your car was at this place at a time where a murder was occurred. And I'm thinking, oh no, like what's gonna happen? They said that, hey, we need to ask you questions and stuff. Can you come down to the police station? I thought about it, I was like, well, I'll go down because I have nothing to hide. Like, I will go down there and tell them, what happened. And, because obviously I didn't have no part of this. I didn't know what they were doing. So later on, we go down, and they asked me the questions, and then I answer back truthfully and everything. So they said, all right, well, we need to step out for a second. So I'm just sitting in this room alone. And eventually they came back in, and then they said, you are under arrest for obstructions of justice. We think that you're not telling us the whole truth. We feel like there's parts of the stories that you're not telling us, and you're under arrest. So they put me in handcuffs. Later on, as the court hearings are going, no one's pleading out, and no one's taking responsibility of the murder. So the guy that did the shooting or whatever isn't, taking his side of his story, and he's not saying, yeah, I did it. He's just kind of like, avoiding it. So then they arrest me at court for murder, and now I'm on like $1 million bond. So I go to jail. I sat in jail for 156 days till I pleaded guilty, and I wanted to take it to trial because during my bail's bond, I took a lie detector test because my lawyer felt like it'd be a good idea if we did it. And I said, yeah, for sure. Like anything I can do to help to, keep my jeopardy in my life safe. So I passed the lie detector test with greater than 99% truthfulness. You can't get 100 on a lie detector test. The guy that gave me the lie detector test was like known as like an FBI for like over 30 years or something. He knows what he's doing. And I have this lie detector test that's going to back me up. It's going to save me out. So later on, it came down to everyone plead out. The guy that murdered someone, he got like 20 something years or whatever. The other guys got like 15 and 11. So I'm sitting there thinking that, okay, I'm going to get this. They got all the guys that did it. Then my lawyer was like, hey, we can go to trial, but I'm gonna let you know that your lie detector test is not admissible for court. And that's gonna be one big thing that we need to help you, because right now they're looking at you as, these guys, you're cool with them, you put them in your car, so you have the same, responsibility. And so I started like breaking down, and I'm like, so what, I have to take a plea and lie? And he said, I'm not telling you have to take the plea, but if you take the plea, your lie detector test will be looked at. So if I go to trial, my lie detector test don't work, but then if I take the plea, it does. So what could I do? My best bet was to take the plea, because if I lose in trial, I'll get the max of 30 years. 30 years for like involuntary manslaughter and even a burglary charge. And the thing is I don't get is that, how can you get me for burglary when I never went into the house? So I took a plea. Instead of 11 years, the judge gave me 36 months, which is 3 years. So I went back to jail. We were in a cell with like one other inmate for pretty much 24/7 besides lunch, breakfast, and dinner. You have less than 2 minutes to eat. So you had these correctional officers like yelling at you like, hurry up, calling you names and disrespecting you, and they don't care about you. You know what I mean? You're a convict. That's all that matters. So I'm over here just like chugging down drinks and eating nasty food, but like you're so starving in that place, and because you don't really eat that much, I technically had to, be with someone for 24/7, like I said, and have to go to the bathroom in front of them. At least the guy that I was with, he respected me and he wouldn't watch or anything, but still, it made me feel like I was an animal, like trapped in a cage, literally. It made me feel that I was a type of person that didn't even matter to society anymore. I was pretty much a number. That's all I was. You didn't have no TV. You had a sink and a toilet and a bed that was so uncomfortable, and it was terrible. Like, I mean, I had like bugs crawling everywhere in my cell, and it was so gross. I didn't even know what they were. I'd never even seen them before. I was in a prison that had over 5,000 inmates, and it was a level 2, and we were kind of like in dorms, you could say, and each dorm held like 250 or more inmates. And when people in prison that don't care that, if they're doing life, what is a fight gonna do to them? Like, you can get trouble for fighting inmates, obviously, but if they're doing life, what is another 3 years gonna do? That's nothing. You know what I mean? They're never gonna leave, so it doesn't even matter. So constantly my back was against the wall. That was my best solution in prison, was to stay out of the way, because if you don't, time's gonna be hard for you and time's gonna be rough. For example, there was a guy that I knew. They ended up like bashing him in the head with a sock with a lock in it, and literally it was just so horrifying to see. And he's like looking at me, and he says like, "Hey, like pretty much telling me like, help me, like I need help. I don't know what is going on." Like, he was so lost, and it was sad, but I literally had to like turn my back and walk away, because if I would have helped him, they would have jumped in and they probably would have beat me up, or if worse came to worse, they would have killed me. Before I went to jail and stuff, I didn't really believe in God that much. But when I went through jail, I kind of like just crossed my hands. I was like, God, I never really prayed to you, and I need your help. My family, like, we can't do anything. They're out there and I'm in here. And is there anything that you can do to help me? Like, send an angel, send something. I had something like literally like whisper in my ear or in my head that said, "It's okay, I got you." If I would have gave up, I probably wouldn't be here sitting here with you right now, because I probably would have been dead. God directed me to the right steps, introduced me to this guy that like controls the phones in the prisons, and he got me on there because he knew that I needed to talk to my mom at least once a day. That's all I needed, just once a day, 30 minutes, that's all. And he says, "You know what, I respect that, man." Later on, my bunkie, which he was doing a lifetime for murder, and he did motivational speaking. After church and stuff, we would go to this motivational speaking class, and I got to listen to everyone's stories, which were really good stories and mind-blowing. And he told me, was like, "Listen, God's gonna bless you with something, and he's gonna make you do great things in life." I'd say like a month from there, I call my mom, and she's like, "Hey, guess what?" And I'm like, "What?" She says, "You're getting out early. Like, you're getting out of prison early." 2 weeks after that, one of the correctional officers came up to me and was like, "Hey, pack your stuff. You're getting out on early release." It was like winning the lottery. I was like, man, my freedom's back. So I'm like going back. I'm like, oh man, like I'm going to be able to sleep in my own bed and play my video games, and everyone's going to miss me. My friend blessed me with a brand new computer with like two 1080 Ti's graphic cards. Dude, it was just awesome, and it literally felt like I won. And right now I'm focusing on people that need my help. Don't feel like no one gives a hell about you. Someone does. I don't care if it's an animal. I don't care if it's God. I don't care if it's your mom, your dad, your brother, your grandma. Someone cares for you out there, even though you might not think that. And now I'm going to high schools, talking to kids so they don't end up in like a certain situation as I did. I started surrounding myself with better people, because I'm sick and tired of being with people that are going to take me down from the hole where they're coming from. And when I started surrounding myself with successful people, my life started becoming successful. Sometimes life will hit you in the face, but you got to realize, hey, like, I'm not done. I'm not out. Like, I'm ready to go, yo. That's what we need in life, because people give up on things when things are going really bad for them. And I understand it's not easy. It's really not. But you just got to keep your head up, dust your shoulders off, and just keep on moving. Because if I didn't do that, I wouldn't be here.
Hey, so I really hope that video helped you guys in some way. Press this button to subscribe, press this box or this box to watch a previous video, and please leave a nice comment for the person in the video below. See you guys.
Hold on, wait, I'm coming back. Oh hey, you're still here. Well, why don't you check down below for our Discord and Patreon?